I was in the middle of a company retreat, sitting through one of those endless, team bonding activities when my phone buzzed. It was from Lena, my girlfriend of 2 years. Lena, I gave Max to a shelter. He shed too much. The apartment looks so much cleaner now. At first, I thought it was a joke. I actually laughed out loud, earning a confused glance from my coworker. But when I opened the message thread, I saw the photo: Max's empty dog bed, his leash hanging on the wall hook, and his food bowl washed and upside down on the counter. That's when my stomach dropped. Max wasn't just a dog. He was the last connection I had to my late father. Dad had rescued him from the side of the road 3 years ago. When Dad passed away, Max became my emotional anchor. He'd been through every heartbreak, every sleepless night, and every quiet victory with me. And Lena, she knew that. I called her immediately. No answer. Then I texted, "What the hell do you mean you gave him away?" Her reply came minutes later. "Lena, you're overreacting. You're always busy. You barely take him for walks anymore. I thought it'd be best for him." My hands were shaking. I left the meeting without a word and ran to my car. The drive back home took nearly 3 hours, and every minute felt like a lifetime. I called every shelter in our city before I even reached the freeway. By the time I got home, Lena was sitting calmly on the couch, watching TV like nothing had happened. "Where's Max?" I demanded. She rolled her eyes. "I told you. At the shelter. They'll find him a better home. One that doesn't have dog hair all over the place." "You had no right!" I shouted. "He's my dog." "Well, we live together," she said coolly, sipping her drink. "I have a say in this place too. And that dog was disgusting." That's when I realized something. This wasn't about cleanliness or allergies. It was about control. I tore through the apartment looking for his things, his favorite toy, his collar, his treats. All gone. She'd erased him like he was trash. I demanded to know which shelter. She refused to tell me. I ended up checking her laptop while she was in the shower. The browser history showed an email to Silver Pines Animal Rescue. It was across town. I drove there immediately, praying Max was still there. When I walked in, the receptionist's face changed the second I mentioned his name. "Max, yes, he came in today," she said softly. "But—" My heart stopped. "But what?" "His intake papers listed him as abandoned. No owner information. He was already picked up by a foster family an hour ago." I nearly collapsed right there. I begged for the foster's contact, but because Lena had signed the papers, the shelter couldn't release the information to me without her written consent. I went home furious, desperate, and heartbroken. Lena was scrolling through her phone, completely unfazed. When I confronted her, she smirked. "Maybe now you'll finally pay attention to me instead of that mutt." That was it. Something inside me snapped. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just quietly said, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." That night, I packed every single one of her belongings into garbage bags, placed them neatly outside the door, and changed the locks. But I wasn't done. I was going to find Max. And when I did, Lena would regret ever underestimating what that dog meant to me. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Max, scared, confused, wondering why I hadn't come back for him. By morning, I had a plan. First, I called a lawyer friend and explained the situation. He told me that if Lena forged my name or claimed ownership without consent, it counted as theft of personal property. Max was legally mine. I had adoption papers and vet records to prove it. Then, I went to the shelter again with the documents. The same woman from yesterday looked both relieved and guilty when I showed her the proof. She said quietly, "I'm not supposed to give you this, but here." She slid a sticky note across the counter. It had a name and address, the foster family who took Max. I thanked her, got in my car, and drove straight there. When I pulled up, a middle-aged woman opened the door. Before I could speak, Max barked from inside, that deep, excited bark I hadn't heard in days. "Max!" He charged toward me, tail wagging like crazy, and jumped right into my arms. I'll admit it, I broke down crying. The woman smiled warmly. "We were told he was abandoned." "I'm glad that wasn't true." I explained everything, the text, the shelter, my ex. She looked horrified and said, "Don't worry. He's yours. Take him home." On the drive back, Max sat in the passenger seat, head out the window, wind in his fur. I looked at him and promised, "You're never losing me again, buddy." But I wasn't finished with Lena. That night, I posted the entire story, screenshots, shelter receipts, adoption papers, on a local pet owner's Facebook group titled, "My girlfriend dumped my dog at a shelter without my consent. Please help me warn others." The post exploded. Hundreds of comments poured in. People were furious. Some even shared screenshots showing Lena trying to sell her dog-friendly apartment services on a pet care group earlier that week. Turns out, she'd been planning this for a while. Then came the twist. Someone from her office messaged me privately. "Hey, thought you should know, she told everyone here she got rid of your dog because you chose him over her. She even laughed about how easy it was." That was all I needed. I compiled every message, every receipt, every shelter record, and sent it to her HR department. See, Lena worked for a marketing firm that specialized in animal welfare campaigns. 2 days later, she was fired. Her final text to me was short and venomous. "Lena, you ruined my life." "Me? You started it when you took mine's best friend." Weeks passed. Life slowly returned to normal. Max was happier than ever. I spoiled him with new toys, long hikes, and way too many treats. Then one day, while at the vet, the receptionist asked if I'd be interested in volunteering at a local animal rescue event. Funny enough, it was sponsored by Lena's former company. So I went, not for revenge, but closure. As I stood there handing out adoption flyers, a little kid came up and petted Max. "He's the happiest dog here," the kid said. I smiled. "Yeah. He's been through a lot. But he's home now." And for the first time in months, I finally felt peace.